Right, welcome back to the as yet not sponsored by Amazon transfer review. I'm going for 24. Let me know in the comments afterwards. Right then, so what's a go on in? Well, transfer window's open and it seems like every club in the world is busy improving the squad, getting rid of Deadwood, or everybody else is just moving to Saudi Arabia. There's another one of them things, right? I said this the other day, like a pedal-powered something or other, and someone in the comment went, "You mean a bike, Steve?" No, I don't mean a bike. What it looks like is a miniature ice cream van powered by pedals with Amazon on the side of it, right? I don't know what that's all about, but he doesn't go that way. He comes down the road and then Jim's behind the camera. One day, week after, we'll film him for you. And then you'll be like, I get it. It's a pedal-powered thing. It's not a bike. It's got 4 wheels for starters, so that's definitely not a bike, is it? Anyway, so everyone's moving, and what United doing? Dithering. Why are they dithering? Well, there was a report that I saw from Disco Mirror. I think it's a Thursday night thing. Disco Mirror saying Glazers aren't really sanctioning any sort of deals. Now, my take on all of this, as soon as we started getting linked with Mount and all the rest of that, and we'll talk about him in a second, my take on all of this, and I hadn't been told this, it was just my take. Companies get bought and sold all the time. CEO is still in place. Even if we get bought out by Sheikh Jassim, Jim Radcliffe, or James fucking Cameron, for all I care, right? We've still got a CEO. And I would presume that they don't start work on a Monday morning, crack their fingers and say, right then, transfer window's open, should we get busy? I would assume a $1 billion company, allegedly $6 billion company, plus debt, does a bit more than just thinks about the transfer window a week after it opens. I would presume that a $6 billion company has agreed next year's budget, let alone this year's budget. I would presume they've agreed next year's budget, and then they can have a little bit of like flexibility to go up, or maybe actually the forecasts weren't quite as good as we thought, so it's going to go down a little bit. But I would presume that they have some sort of a pot of glue what they've got going on. These leaks that have come out from Disco Mirror and there's others that have said it, they might just be parroting what he said. For these things to come out, if they are true, and here's the thing, right, it's so easy to believe that they're true because you just see how poorly run this fucking football club is. But if it's true that they're not willing to spend, that is fucking criminal negligence on behalf of the Glazers. This football club has essentially 1.5 opportunities for improvement, right? You have your summer window where you do your recruiting, and then there is an opportunity in the winter, but I'm not going to call it a full window because no one has ever gone bananas in a winter transfer window, ever, right? The summer is when this stuff is done. And even if you do bring somebody in the winter, they haven't had a pre-season with you, which is vital. So there is 1.5 opportunities as far as I'm concerned a year. That's it. That's your one opportunity. You fucked it. See you in a bit. See you next year, right? For them to be fucking us on the way out, it's another one. There's another one. Turn the camera. See? Didn't fucking make it up. Wheelie bike thing. For them to be fucking us the way they are doing, it just shows how they've run this club and why they've run this club. They have run this club for one fucking reason. For the betterment of the Glazers. They never had any investment into this. They never had any investment into this club, like full stop. Don't need to continue after that. But they never had any emotional investment in this club. They never had any desire to see this club fucking succeed. They are alien to every single football fan in the fucking world. Now, you look at dozens of owners across the world, right? Whether they've been shit, whether they've been good. Generally, I think every single owner, even the fully mental ones like Mike Ashley and that, they've all in their head gone, I'll make this club successful. I don't think that's ever entered the Glazers' heads. Ever. All they give a fuck about is lining their own pockets. Nothing could be more evident than the fact that as they're leaving, they're setting fire to the fucking gaff. They could not give a fuck about you. They couldn't give a fuck about me. They couldn't give a fuck about all the employees that are in there. They couldn't give a fuck about the players. They couldn't give a fuck about the legacy of this football club. They're fucking horrible. And they're even dragging their feet when someone's offered them 10 times the money that they never put in the first place. So it's easy to believe that they wouldn't have agreed, or that they might have agreed, but now they've put a stop on any spending for Manchester United. Which makes coming standing out here and shouting feel fucking worthless, doesn't it? When you think, oh, right, yeah, so they might actually not be putting any money in, or they might not actually allow us to spend any fucking money. What are we doing? What are we doing? And it's Ten Hag the one that's going to be growing hair to pull it out. They didn't give a fuck when they owned the club and when they thought they were going to be here for a long time. Can you imagine how little of a fuck that they give when they know they're leaving? Ten Hag supposedly identified, and this is a meticulous man, identified targets months ago, like someone who's good at their job. He went, right, I want these ones and I want these long ones gone. And we went, yeah, sound. 3 months later, he's gone. Anyway, do you remember that whole meeting that we had where I said, I want to buy these ones and I want to fuck these ones off? And he went, yeah. He went, well, have we done anything? No. Anyway, Mason Mount. We spoke about Mason Mount a couple of times. He seems like the only one that United have actually flung a bid in for. Like, actually flung a bid in. I think there's other bids that might be coming in. What's going on with Mason Mount? He does seem like he's the only one that we've actually put a genuine bid in for. United went in and said like 40, 45. Chelsea said 80, now 70. Mason Mount supposedly told Chelsea that he wants to get out of there. This seems like one that they can make do. He's only got a year left on his contract. And I do see a way where he comes and fits in as a number 8. I think it'll adapt Bruno's position, and I think him and Bruno will basically be a mirror image of each other on opposite sides of the pitch. They've both got good work rate. They both work hard defensively. I think this will be a good signing and help to evolve the team. Do I see this one happening? Yeah, 7 out of 10. The price is just a little bit further apart than it needs to be at the moment, but I reckon 7 out of 10. And if I'm here next week, maybe it's moved up. I think this one's due to come to a conclusion pretty quick. I would be confident saying I think Mason Mount's probably going to be our first signing. Declan Rice. Now, a little bit similar to what the situation is with Mason Mount. When it was first rumoured United was in for Mount, I didn't want him. And half the reason I didn't want him was because he was £80 million. Declan Rice is the same. I think Declan Rice is a nice, tidy little player. But when people are talking about £100 million, what are you sniffing? He's a good player. He's not the best player in the Premier League, is he? Is he? You dick. Because that's what £100 million should get you. £100 million should have women fainting in the street and people just fucking jumping on sofas like Tom Cruise in that really weird interview that he did with Oprah. £100 million, you get Declan Rice and you go, I mean, okay. You spend that sort of money, you think you're getting a Pogba. All right, it didn't work, I know. But the level of excitement when we got Pogba, and we got fucking Stormzy doing the thing, like, do you know what I mean? There was excitement, wasn't there? There was giddiness. There was, oh my God, we done a thing. You signed Declan Rice for 100 million, you go, did we owe someone money? Like, the fuck is going on here? Now, Arsenal made a bid for Declan Rice. And they made, I think it was a sensible sort of amount of money. West Ham said, fuck you, want more. Because at some point last year, David Moyes decided that Declan Rice was worth 100 million. And everybody just went with him, rather than asking him that if he's had a fucking concussion or something. Now, Manchester City are also interested in Declan Rice. And I think I know why. I think Pep's going to go to a full-back three next year, move John Stones back out to maybe right-back maybe, and play Declan Rice where John Stones has currently been playing. So Declan Rice will still technically be playing in a 2. Tactically, that makes a lot more sense than if you would see him playing in the halfway line like he would here, or like he would at Arsenal in a single pivot, which is what I expect he would probably be doing, certainly at Arsenal, especially now they've signed Havertz. Havertz, Odegaard and Rice in behind. You're asking him to play a game he's never played before, and he might be all right, but he might not. The fact is, there's no evidence that he can do that job. England play on the back foot, West Ham play on the back foot. You're going to sign a player for like fucking 85, 90 million pound and ask him to play a completely different way than he's ever played in his life before. Yeah, fucking good one, mate. I actually could see him being a big success at City because tactically I think he could actually fit what they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, where does this leave United? Well, United are in the mix as well. Now, we all sort of went, yeah, Harry Maguire needs fucking off, doesn't he? Jesus, does he? Where's he going to go, though? And you go, right, Liverpool. No, not Liverpool. No, City. They wanted it. No, not City. No. Leeds. Everton. And for some reason, all of us kind of went, West Ham would work, wouldn't it? They have a little bit of money, and they'll have a bit more money as well if they sell Declan Rice for a fucking eye-watering fee to whoever's fucking stupid enough to pay it. They play on the back foot, and Harry Maguire does defend his box quite well. If you pack 2 midfielders around him and a back 4 alongside him, he's going to look like a good defender. He's going to be a useful centre-half. When you ask him to play 1v1 on the halfway line and actually try and break the lines with his passing, it looks like you just asked him to solve a Chinese crossword. Harry Maguire to West Ham was something that we all sort of thought, that kind of makes a lot of sense. And do you know who else thought that? Fucking David Moyes. Did we just manifest fucking him off to West Ham? Because it feels like we did. So supposedly, in the United bid side of it, anyway, United are thinking about throwing Anthony Elanga, maybe Harry Maguire, and there's also been other versions of this with Scott McTominay. Do you know what I reckon actually happened? Someone belled up West Ham and was like, hello, is that West Ham? Can we give you, and if you don't get that reference, fuck you, by the way, right? Hello, is that West Ham? What if we give you like, they played Guess Who? They just started, not Martinez, no, not him. And they were left with like, what about Elanga, McTominay, Maguire, any of them, do you? So I reckon, because there's been so many sort of varying reports like this, that United have rang up West Ham and just gone, look, here's who we're thinking of fucking off. Do you want any of them? So I reckon there is something in this. Now, it's been reported by basically everyone, United haven't tabled an official bid. So I think this is where things get murky, because I reckon like CEOs, directors of football, they have conversations and they pitch things to each other. They say, what about blah, 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 50 mil for this guy? What about that? What about if we threw this in? That's not going to be seen as tabling an official bid because some fucking idiot didn't fax it. But is that them kind of doing most of the negotiation? Is this one of those things where you only put the official bid in once you know it's been agreed? Like, do you spend 30 days going back and forward on WhatsApp with nonsense, and then when you actually fax in your offer, it was what you agreed on WhatsApp 2 days ago? Is that how this shit works? Because that's what it feels like. Because one of the reports with City was they was only going to put their bid in if they knew Declan Rice was going to accept. Well, you don't get to talk legally. You don't. I mean, this is Manchester City, and we know they do things 100% by the book, and they don't do anything that's outside the rules, right? And any aspersions that they do that is just incorrect and hearsay, right? So if they're only going to do that when they know he's going to accept, that's tapping up, and that's illegal. And it's also the way it's done. It's mad. Right, at grassroots football, if I want to sign you, I would have a conversation with you. But that's breaking the rules. I'm supposed to just randomly observe a player, in a field, and go, he's good. And then I put his club on 7 days' notice. Come the 8th day, I can officially talk to that player. So the tapping up rules starts at the top, and it even goes down to fucking Paddock, right? It's the same way it does. But is that the way it really gets worked? Not really. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's the same here. So Declan Rice probably is representative, not directly Declan Rice. Probably that's the workaround that they do with this. If he gets the nod and the wink, or he gives City the nod and the wink, then they'll probably come in for him like that. But if they don't, they don't. And if they do, they do. And if they don't, who fuck knows? 116 charges, who cares? So Declan Rice to Manchester United. I mean, it solves us a lot of problems if we manage to ship off a couple of players and bring someone in to bolster midfield. And I think adding Rice and Mount, yeah, it improves United's midfield, it does. It's not as exciting as... Look, for the fucking money that's involved, why don't we get on the old blower and get Casado in? Do you know what I mean? What a footballer he is. Why aren't we fucking doing that? Why is it just everyone has decided that Chelsea, because they probably are, right? Because things... He's going to Chelsea and that's that. What a bollocks. Casado's what United should be going for because he could fucking fill in a number of positions and be shit hot in all of them. Casado's the sort of one. There's another one of them bike things, by the way. Right? Casado's the one where, has there been any vans? How many's been any vans, has there? Fucking hell's going on, man? Anyway. That's the one if you'd have signed for 70, 80 million, you'd be like, oh, fucking hell, yeah. That's this sort of like exciting transfer, isn't it? Rice I'd be a little bit underwhelmed with. Mount's a good player, and if he can replicate that fucking 30 goal and assist season, then we're doing fucking all right. Don't worry about that. But yeah, just feels a little bit underwhelming, doesn't it? Just a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Rice to United, considering we've not even made a fucking bid, it's not zero, because I think there's definitely some truth in the fact that we've been talking, or we're throwing players out like guess who. 2 out of 10. Why are we talking about midfielders though? United need a striker. Don't worry, got a striker. Kolo Muani. Now, he's had a pretty decent season, and they want 85 million. Fuck me, he ain't had that decent a season. Also, here's the big problem. Manchester United lead the way with also Bayern Munich interested in signing Kolo Muani. That headline needs to be, Bayern Munich are about to sign Kolo Muani, doesn't it? When has anyone ever gone toe-to-toe with Bayern fucking Munich for a player based in Germany and won? Ever. It's never happened. No one's ever gone, yeah, go on then, we'll go toe-to-toe with you with that. And Bayern Munich have gone, oh no, and lost. It's never fucking happened. Basically, he's signing for Munich. Enjoy your fucking 5 titles that you're going to win while you're there. By the way, have you seen how many fucking titles Kingsley Coman has won? Jesus. It's like 11 titles. He's like 25. How the fuck has he managed that? Google it. You won't believe me. Google it. Kingsley Coman. Won everything. Kolo Muani, United. Fucking 0 out of 10. You're not going to beat Bayern Munich. Right, that was the ins. Depressingly. Fucking hell, are you serious? Is that it? Wow. Oh, we're fucked, aren't we? Right, here's the outs. This might be lengthy. Starting, Donny van der Beek, right? Not only did we know that he still exists, but somebody else knows that he still exists. And let me just get this right, because I'm in shock. Donny van der Beek set to move away from Manchester United after a frustrating few seasons. A frustrating few seasons. That's a little bit like saying this fucking submarine down to the Titanic didn't quite go to plan, innit? Could have been better. 2-star review. Here we go. The boys have started. Donny van der Beek could leave Manchester United. Where's he going, Steve? Well, there's a trend started. Now, I grew up in the 90s. Well, technically the 80s, but like, watched football in the 90s. When I was growing up, James Richardson, cups of coffee, a pink newspaper. It was all about Italian football. And Joe, I'm going to go off topic here for a minute, because I'm seeing loads of people crying that the Premier League ruined football, and now Saudi Arabia is just doing what the Premier League did. I'll tell you this. The Premier League never had one guy that owned the fucking Premier League and was just dishing out players to clubs. That never happened. Also, the Premier League has only recently become the place that makes the most money. Because in the 90s, it was Italy. It was always the threat of all your best players leaving to go to Italy. That's where all the best players in the world were. I mean, you know the names. But the 90s was just an absolute litany of just every top player in the world, especially strikers for some reason. All the best strikers were in Italy, and obviously all the best defenders were in Italy. All the best teams was there. And then after that, it was the Liga. And to be fair, it still kind of is the Liga. You know, Lionel Messi, before he left to go to Paris, was earning 2.6 million a week, which meant some of the nuggets that play for Barcelona were getting 6 and 7 and 800,000 a week. So let's not pretend that the Premier League has just come in and been this absolute juggernaut. Fucking Diego Simeone is on like $1 million a week as a manager. As a manager, right? Let's not pretend that the Premier League for 30 years has just fucking ruined football. If you think that's the case, I'll ask you to go and look at where all the world record fees are. They're not in the Premier League, apart from United. Anyway, what the fuck was the point I was trying to make? There was a point. Oh, that was it. I remembered. Right, so the point I was trying to make is, it's flipped, and now Serie A, and it's sad to see, why is Serie A no longer at the top? Because of corruption and cheating. And genuinely, this could happen to the Premier League. If that rumoured Ruben Neves realistic loan for 2 years is just a circumnavigation of FFP, which is what everyone suspects it is. If it's real, it might just be a blag. If that happens with Newcastle, people will turn off from the Premier League because they'll go, oh, this is fucked. If what is going on with Chelsea and Saudi Arabia, where they're just like allowing them to circumnavigate FFP by getting fat money for players that are no longer playing for them, that's fucked. And then if Manchester City are able to get away with their 115 charges and nothing happens, the integrity of the Premier League is gone. And you say, why are you saying that like that matters? Because I'll tell you this. When Juventus was relegated for match fixing in Serie A, the attendances in Serie A halved the next season. The interest in Italian football, you couldn't give away their TV rights. Juventus have been relegated, stripped of a load of titles. Italian football was fucked. Italian football was the king of the world. And then because of this corruption scandal, the interest in watching what everybody knew to be a rigged competition disappeared. And it's very, very dangerous. And the same thing could happen to the Premier League if they don't act to keep the integrity of the competition alive. And for all of the non-United fans, all you ABUs that are like, but what about United? What about United? What rules have United ever broken? Answers on a fucking postcard to someone who gives a fuck, all right? Anyway, what the fuck are you going on about, Steve? Well, Donny van de Beek, he's going to Roma. When did Italian football become the fucking cast-off of English football? When did that happen? These are on the way to the Etihad as we speak. Even if you look at the Inter Milan team that made the final, it was full of cast-offs from English football. So Donny van de Beek is looking at going AS Roma. I have nothing to say on that other than will he pass the medical? It's not worked out for him at United. It's not worked out for him with the man that made him. I don't know what the hell he needs to do to get his career back on track, but I don't think anyone is going to be overly upset if he moves on. Do I see him leaving this summer? Yeah. Nothing concrete at the moment. 6 out of 10. Right, I did a video on this on my own channel yesterday, looking at why Manchester United can't get fees for anyone. If I said to you, hey, unknown club, you need to go and sign an international Brazilian midfielder from another Premier League team, how much is that going to cost you? You'd be like, well, it's 50, 60 million, isn't it? Surely, right? Well, apparently, United have demanded we get less than half our money back on Fred. What the fuck? So, Fulham are interested in Fred. And supposedly United think 20 million is a fair fucking price for him. Okay, mate, go and replace our backup midfielder with equal quality. And I know Fred ain't the greatest player the world's ever seen, but you go and find someone of comparable quality for 20 million fucking pound. Why did United get mugged like this? Who's running that up there? Are they dealing with my first fucking calculator or something? Like, $1 million for Zidane Iqbal is basically theft. 250 grand last year for Dylan Levitt. Someone who's been through the finishing school of Manchester United, which still, despite everything you want to believe, still holds a hell of a lot of weight. International footballer, Dylan Levitt. International footballer, Zidane Iqbal. Going for fucking nothing. It's an absolute travesty. The reason that United are going to be hamstrung by FFP in the future, the reason why we are top of all of those fucking net spend leagues that you see all the time, is because no one at this club knows how to sell a fucking player. Guess what? We don't need to sell Fred. Fulham need to buy Fred. That means the price goes up, not fucking down. When you're trying to get rid of a player, that's when you maybe have to take a little bit of a hit on the price. That's fair. But for £20 million, the way that needs to have gone down is Fulham go, yeah, we're interested in Fred. We go, fuck you, 70 million. That's what Daniel Levy does. Daniel Levy wants 70 million just to tell you what fucking time it is. That's what you need to do. You need to go and spend half an hour with Daniel Levy, watch him go to Greg's and walk out with a free sausage roll, because that's what Daniel Levy does. We go in there and we end up buying every fucker in the queue something and coming out with nothing ourselves. Or a vegan sausage roll, absolutely shafted, right? If you're ever in a hostage situation and the people involved in transfers at Manchester United are there to save your life, you're fucking dead. You're dead. They're not getting you out. You're dead. What are we talking about here? Oh, Fred. Fred to Fulham. I swear to God, if we sell Fred for 20 million, I'm going to find someone and fucking boot him in the dick. Because that's absolutely ridiculous. When we talk about negligent running of a football club, literally, the first 5 people to comment on this video would be better suited to running this football club than the people who run the fucking football club. It's laughable. It really is. It's laughable. You go, how could people be so bad at their fucking jobs? We'd be better having Michael Knight run the fucking gaff. We really would. Fuck me. Don't think it'll happen? 5 out of 10, maybe. Right then, Hannibal. Borussia Dortmund are interested in paying £15 million, right? Let's go back. Let's put our Daniel Levy bald wig on. And let's go, right, what would Daniel Levy do? Oh, Borussia Dortmund, right, well, they're going to probably sell him for over a fucking 100 million in about 18 months' time. So, what do we say? He'd go back and he'd tell Dortmund 40 million. Being legit, without exaggerating. If I was to exaggerate, I'd say like 95, right? Realistically, he would probably go and say 40, 45, probably take 30, 35, right? This is a young man that we paid £8 million for and then invested in training for him. And since then, he's become a full international. He's gone and done a season out on loan in the Championship. He has developed as a footballer. He is therefore worth more than the fucking £15 million that Dortmund want to pay for us. This is fucking ludicrous. He can stay here and finish his development for £15 million. Again, you go and find a player with those credentials that's just done the sorts of things in the Championship he's done. That's an international footballer. £15 million. Go fuck yourself. Right, no. 30 million. 40 million. This is the reason, right, for all you going, oh, it doesn't fucking matter. It does matter. Because this is why you can't go and spend more money on the transfers of people that you do want, because you're not getting fucking money for the players that you don't want. It's called balance. You can't have it all going out one way, you end up fucking skint. Ridiculous. So, do I see this one happening? Yeah. Probably fucking 9 out of 10 with these Burks. I woke up in a good mood. I'm fucking annoyed now. How many Amazon vans with it? About 10? Alright, in a bit.